From CBS News, it's The Early Show.
It is just 1 month since Google's new social platform, media platform, Google Plus, has added $45 billion to the company's bottom line. But the web giant is not the only company making big moves and big bucks in social media. There is also a brother and sister operation that simply began as a way for them to make new friends.
When I received $4.1 million in venture capital funding, everyone was like going around school saying, Catherine's a millionaire now.
I think the big thing is the biggest release is the iPhone coming.
And just last week, the siblings sold the company for $100 million.
But we're playing for the larger prize, which is really building an enduring global brand around meeting new people.
With all due respect, Catherine barely looks old enough to have an allowance. David and Catherine Cook are not the only teens to come up with a multi-million-dollar idea. Generational specialist Jason Dorsey, known as the Gen Y guy, is here to tell us more about these so-called millennial moguls. Good morning, Jason. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Great story. Very successful, obviously. For people who don't know what a millennial mogul actually is, what is the definition?
Yeah, the way we define it at our center is it's somewhere between age about 16 to 33. So they're part of the millennial generation, and they've created at least $5 million in personal wealth with one of their entrepreneurial ideas. And we're seeing massive wealth creation right now among this demographic.
All right, let's talk about some of the big names out there that people are probably familiar with, like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, who's only worth about $13.5 billion. You've got Andrew Gower from Runescape, who's 32 years old, worth $650 million. Chad Hurley of YouTube, 34 years old, $300 million. So what was it about these guys? Was it just a great idea that they were just able to capitalize on?
We think it's two things. The first is that it's a disruptive technology. So Facebook, came out of nowhere. And you hear that even in the piece that introduced us. It came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it happened. This generation doesn't know what they can't do, which is immensely powerful. And they're leveraging technology, social media, mobile media, which costs very little to get into. I mean, my yearbooks, they founded it for almost nothing and sold it for $100 million 6 years later. It's incredible.
What is it about, though, these kids that they're able to, not convince, but maybe it is convince people to actually give them a couple of $1 million in startup funds, and then they're able to produce something along these lines?
Yeah, well, their parents really believe in them. But aside from that, what's happened is during the last dot-com boom and bust, the gray hairs recognize that young people are seeing opportunities in ways that they don't, and it's worth it for them to invest a few $1 million to take a shot at it. And what we're seeing is profitability very early on in these enterprises. So they're coming up with an idea. I was with a guy last night, 21 years old, started this business, taken off, didn't even know he had to pay taxes until his mom said, well, you've got to pay taxes. And so he had to go get a loan to pay the taxes on the idea, and he had just no idea. I mean, it's amazing, 21 years old. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this concept of, here's a challenge, I can fix it. I'm living with mom. What is she going to do? Kick me out? No. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it takes off, and now companies are recognizing the valuations, and we're seeing the rewards.
So guys like Zuckerberg and these guys that have billions of dollars right now that are so young, what's next? Or even for Catherine, what's next for these people after they've made these millions at such a young age? What do they then do?
Yeah, well, I coach a lot of people that have made a lot of money who are very young, and the first thing that happens is they get a whole new set of friends, and they think they're their friends. Yeah. And then after they get through that stage, they recognize this is as much responsibility as it is a gift, and they're trying to figure out what to do. In fact, there's a conference right now in New York with very wealthy people under the age of 30 trying to determine how are they going to give back. Yeah. So we're seeing a big push on social entrepreneurship, doing things and then giving back, and we're also seeing a desire to work with people of different ages, which is new. So young people actually stepping up and leading companies full of those who are older than themselves.
Yeah. Do they honestly stay humble? They say the money doesn't change them, but the money does change
That's complete junk. Yeah, they're not humble at all. Yeah.
Jason, thank you for being honest. We appreciate it. Jason Dorsey. All right.